Which y'all thought it wasn't gonna happen. Y'all thought I was just capping. Like I be dropping these stories and I don't really be rapping. It's kind of crazy to me. Like I really been just like my consistency. I just felt like a wise man once said, "I let y'all worry about the list. I'm on some other shit because it's a difference between accomplishments and astonishments." Oh man, oh man, oh man. Another episode again. I don't know, man. I just feel like, like I said, man, realistically, I could literally drop an episode every single day at this point. It's like every time I feel like I give my best pot. Every time I feel like I come on here and I just give y'all my best episode. I just put all of my takes, all of my notes, everything on my docket. I give y'all the whole docket. I don't hold back, man. Everything that's written down on my docket, best believe, will be getting said on the episode, right? So realistically, fam, it's nothing worse than when you close the episode and then a whole nother series of events takes place. Angel Reese. Angel Reese. Angel Reese has been trending. Shout out to LSU, national, champions, and this is actually the first time in their history, in their lineage, in their entire tenure. I don't know, man. I just feel like personally, and we gonna get into the Angel Reese, the whole Caitlin Clark Angel Reese rivalry that is currently being talked about, all over the media. I feel like it's dwindling down to a certain degree. I don't feel like it's we shouldn't be talking about this past really today. I feel like this is episode 25, the E.B.C.G. This is the I'm gonna cap off. I'm gonna put an end to the rivalry officially between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I feel like these two young ladies, shout out to Angel Reese, I feel like Angel Reese has a very familiar story, for anybody who, the inner city blues, it's the inner city blues, so I just feel like I don't like that ad lib. I really don't, man. Me and Drake gonna have to, if I ever run into Drake, I'm just saying though, what's good with the 666? Bad enough we had 3-6 Mafia. That was actually the first anyway. They kicked off that whole Illuminati talk. I remember those World Star videos. I mean, what is there to be said here? Angel Reese is a superhero, fam, and I just feel like, realistically, there's so much conversation around. I just feel like, unfortunately, we're not focusing on the amazing accomplishment. And at the end of the day, shout out to LSU and shout out to all of her teammates as well, right? Because realistically, it was a team effort, and I do feel like it's somewhat unfair, and it might be somewhat of a slight to her teammates who also were a part of the journey, right? And they all accomplished something that I feel like is gonna go down in history. It's in the history books. They were the first team to do it. That was the first team to do it. And at the end of the day, I feel like that's the only thing that we really should be talking about. But the media, social media, Instagram. I only knew about this because of social media. I mean, really, like I said, I don't follow college basketball. I'm not sure why I don't. I'm a fan of basketball. It's just, what I really think it is with the college hoops for me, as I digress. I just feel like for a long time there was so much controversy around, those athletes, and there was always the conversation about players not getting paid. I do see that they are making strides to reverse that narrative, and I feel like they were sponsoring, the game, and I feel like different brands are starting to reach out to the college players, and they're making that an initiative, right, to make sure that these athletes get paid. Basically, they're making these organizations millions, if not billions of dollars. They're making all of this money off of these athletes' image and their likeness. I feel like it's only right that they get some of the profit, right? And I do see that they're starting to do that now. So I say all that to say this. I might have to just tune in because I clearly missed an amazing game, and I ain't see no highlights or nothing. I did see a couple of highlights though. Angel was going in. She was getting to the paint like Giannis, fam, Euroing. The other, Caitlin Clark is also talented, and I just feel like basically, I mean, from what I'm hearing, she's basically like they calling her like the Steph Curry of the league. You feel me? Like she over there doing step back. I heard she over there shooting from the logo. I definitely need to tune into them highlights though. And at the end of the day, realistically, she's an amazing player, and she'll have her day. She will have her day. She's still early in her career. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get to the WNBA. It's not the end for her. This is not where it ends for Caitlin Clark. So realistically, I don't feel like there's any need to choose a side here. I'm just saying, fam, she could have, out of all the, she could have chose another taunt to do this. We not talking. She didn't go up and put the middle finger up to the girl. She didn't give her the. She could have gave her the DX taunt. Realistically, fam, she chose one of the cleanest wrestlers ever. And we're going to get into some wrestling talk later, by the way, because it's big business happening, right? It's current events. By the way, Angel Reese has, she has a pretty, like I said, her story is, triumphant to say the least. She definitely, lost her father to gun violence. Her father was actually a rapper, you know, by the name of Camouflage, and I wasn't familiar with his music. However, I did come across a clip of him sitting down, ironically enough, talking about speaking on, gun violence. And, then there's the whole White House piece. Like, come on, man. Well, they wanted to bring both of the teams. Now, me personally, I didn't really feel like that was, I kind of understood the gesture, but I also understand that, people basically saying like, fam, like since when does the second place that would be like at the Olympics and shit. You give 2 gold medals out and shit. It's like, fam, hold on. I didn't train my ass off and starve myself and put myself through all of these rigorous drills for me to be in first place and for the person who lost to be in first place too. Like I kind of understand that, from that standpoint, realistically, fam. And then I guess they dubbed it like they ain't even pull up now type shit. Like it does give me Shikari vibes though, which is kind of crazy, right? Completely different situation, obviously though. But she has a very similar aura, and obviously, basically in her own words, what she basically said was at the end of the day, I gotta represent for the people, for the young girls who look like me. There's a large population of young women out here who literally have my story. They literally look like me. They talk like me. And at the end of the day, I feel like it's no different than, and this might be a reach, but, this is no different than the Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the character, right? I feel like we see with the effect and the aura that created, right? And how people were willing to come behind a fictional character, right? At the end of the day, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But realistically, the Black Panther is a fictional character, right? So I just feel like it's no different from which we had no issue with, right? We did want the imagery and everything like that for the young kids to see a black superhero. Yeah, that's important. But at the end of the day, when people are trying to do it in real life, we should celebrate and acknowledge that as well. I'm going to leave that at that. Big merger alert. Endeavor, the parent company of UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, just purchased the WWE. Endeavor owns John Cena, fam. So realistically, if you want to get technical, y'all talking about unsportsmanship. Wrestling is a sport now. I mean, what did she do wrong? She didn't really do anything wrong. She didn't go up and push the girl to the floor. She didn't do half of the I mean, you want to talk about unsportsmanship, you don't have to look any further than the NBA and all that racist, antiquated shit that's going on over there. Whether you want to talk about Donald Sterling, huh? Whether you want to talk about Phil Jackson, we ain't forget about Phil. Bruce Levinson, I ain't forget about you, Bruce. I did a whole video on that. Talking about there's too much black people. The Atlanta Hawks, the fans are scared. Too much black people. I'm just saying, dog. Like it's levels to this thing that y'all call unsportsmanship. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Angel Reese, man. Salute, young queen. Keep doing your thing. I need to tap in. It speaks volumes to how trash the NBA is. Because the ratings for this game, I heard, were smashing a whole lot of other things. I mean, including NBA Finals this past All-Star weekend, which I literally slept through. I woke up in the middle of that shit. I see Mac McClung's head in front of the rim. This is no cap. You feel me? I thought I was having a nightmare, fam. Like, what is going on right now? I woke up again. It was bad. My leg was asleep. Like, that All-Star weekend was trash. And I feel like this NBA Finals, this upcoming NBA Finals, you might as well just pack this up too. I'd rather watch Angel Reese on a live stream at the LSU gym, fam, with Flajay Johnson and the LSU squad, dog, doing drills. I will not be tuned into this NBA Finals. It's gonna be the Kings and the Thunder in the conference finals, fam. That actually might be lit though, low key. Now that I think about it, because realistically, what it's looking like is we about to get a new NBA, a new team might be a champion this year. If Giannis go down somehow, knock on wood, by the way, I wouldn't want that. I want all players healthy for the playoffs, dog. Even though we not gonna get that, because Paul George is out. I think Zion is out. Wiggins is coming back, which is crazy. He just had a nice little vacation. You know what I'm saying? He about to come back refreshed. So I don't know. Though, realistically, the Warriors might be back in there when Wiggins come back. We don't know what he's been on, for real. We've heard what's been going on, but, controversy creates cash, Sometimes adversity is really what... Adversity is one of the ingredients to success, And I just freestyled that. That was actually a bar right there. Let me write that down as I get ready to segue into this wrestling shit. And I just feel like on that note right there, let's stay there. So the WWE fan, I'm about to start watching wrestling again. It's official. I think they got me back. Like at this point, and I definitely did tune into that WrestleMania. I kind of like what they're doing over there. The big story is the WWE recently has been purchased by Endeavor. The merger with UFC, $21 billion deal, fam. So now the UFC and the WWE are all under the same parent company, Endeavor. What does this mean? Let me tell y'all what it means for me. I'm definitely watching wrestling again. There is no way. First of all, like I'm not even gonna hold you. Like once you were a wrestling fan, like realistically fan, and all my wrestling heads. Shout out to all my wrestling heads. If you're a real wrestling head, especially if you really was watching it in the heyday, the golden era, and you gotta, if you know what I mean by when I say the golden era, fam. The tag teams when we had the Hart Foundation, we had Demolition, the Legion of Doom, fam. I even throw the Oriental Express in there, fam, with Mr. Fuji, dog. The Oriental Express with Mr. Fuji was cold on the low. Anybody that had any team that had Mr. Fuji was cold though. He just made the aesthetic, you know what I'm saying? Just look like super villain and all that, right? Looked like one of the villains, and he looked like the dude in 007. What was his name? So yeah, I've always, throughout the years, I've always kept an eye on certain things. I might see an article. I'll read an article or two. I see a breaking news. Oh, whoa, hold on. He died? Damn. I remember when he had the Intercontinental title. Like I still kind of like I'm still connected to it. Is what I'm basically saying, right? Like, and it's kind of actually scary for real, you know. But now my fears are, you know, are just not there anymore because now they actually are merging with the UFC, and I just feel like, man, this is definitely like this is like a godsend for me, man. I've been so basically the irony there is the UFC basically became my new WWE, right? All of the interest that I had in wrestling at one point in time basically shifted over to the UFC, and the UFC completely consumed me, man. And realistically, fam, the reason why I say I'm not even sure why I even watched wrestling in the first place is because, you know, I watched the UFC, you know, and what they're doing is basically just a next level, you know. I feel like you can really learn things about life, you know, by studying mixed martial arts, right? Whereas with wrestling, it's more for entertainment purposes. But now that the merger is taking place, right? Let's get back to this merger. Let's get back to this $21 billion deal that Endeavor has just struck upon Vince McMahon. And at the end of the day, shout out to Vince McMahon, man. Because realistically, I said Vince McMahon, man, which is crazy, right? I might have to edit. Should I edit that, or should I just? I'm not perfect though. Like I'm not. I don't want to just give y'all this impression of me like I'm just like this perfect, flawless, unfathomable. I'm not trying to Obama the situation here, right? Because I could flip that switch real quick on y'all. I could give y'all one of those episodes. Like I might have to surprise y'all with one of those on a later date. I'll throw on the suit through the whole thing. You feel me? But yeah, man, I just feel like the deal. Let me stay focused here, man, because I'm not gonna hold you. I've been really keeping my eye on this, and realistically, like I said, this is really low key. This might be the emergency podcast, man. This might be the one. Every now and then, I'm gonna have an emergency podcast to come and spin the block on y'all with. Like, damn, I'm still giving y'all. You might be getting episode 24 snippets and episode 25 snippets simultaneously. I'm on it like that now. Your favorite pod is favorite pod. Shout out to Joe Budden. Shout out to Ian. Shout out to the whole crew over there. What up, y'all? Melissa Ford, I see you. Y'all doing big things over there. Queen's Flip, you know, really liking the aesthetic over there. My phone about to die. That's crazy. Hold on. You know, I always gotta trick up my sleeve and all that. I don't like to get up when you know, get in my bag with y'all. You know, once I start podding, dog, it's kind of like I'm locked in. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't get up to this episode that's finished, right? I'm cooking right now. I'm in the kitchen right now, right? But I knew my shit was gonna die, right? So I kept something real close. Hold on, let me just. My guy JBP at number one, man. And you know, at the end of the day, dog, I would be remiss, you know, to sit here on this microphone and basically not get that man, you know, his flowers. You know, at the end of the day, dog, myself included, there's gonna be a lot of people, and at the end of the day, you know, yeah, sure, I might have always had an interest in doing this on some level, but what I'm saying is this, dog. Joe Budden, the JBP, you know, the Joe Budden Network, the crew, the blueprint that they laid out is you know, undeniable, you know, where you can literally go back to episode one and see this man, you know, build this thing up, you know what I'm saying, piece by piece, you know, all of the different, you know, peaks and valleys there and the road bumps. And, you know, it's actually something that I share with him, you know, that I kind of hold near and dear to me on the low, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was really, you know, I really started, I wasn't tuned in all the way from episode one. I ended up going back and, you know, kind of doing my homework or whatever the case may be. I might have got in there somewhere around episode 2 something, right? When they was still in that little room with the table and they had it like, you know what I'm saying? Like they was playing spades and shit. Maul was in there smoking and shit. I kind of got in around there, right? So I say all that to say this, man. I'll never forget when Joe Budden was going through his situation with Complex. While he was going through that, I was dealing with a situation with a company that I was at the time simultaneously. And bro, when I tell you that, I mean, obviously the magnitude of our situations probably weren't the same financially, but man, the significance of it and just everything that I was going through, and I would come and listen to those episodes, man, and ultimately we basically ended up doing the exact same thing, bro. So from that episode on, man, I say wanted to say this. I've been locked in, and the podcast is definitely deserving of the number one spot. I say all that to say this, man. Like I said, it's not another podcast. I don't feel like with that type of blueprint, man, with that type of catalog. We talk about 2 episodes a week, 3-hour episodes, man. Like, yeah. He over there spitting them things out like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like Octomom and shit. Shout out to Octomom. Man, whatever happened to that lady? And them kids, like we never got to see like the Octomom, and this is a crazy segue. I'm aware of that. It's crazy. I'm doing another podcast, realistically, and if I want to be honest, at this point, I'm kind of just jumping around. I'm low key still on the WWE deal, right? I didn't really get all of my. I went in this whole long tangent, and we're gonna bring it right. We gonna circle the block, and we're gonna get back to Vince McMahon and this WWE deal because I'm not off it. It's interesting because initially, what was being reported was that Saudi Arabia was in talks to strike some kind of deal with the WWE. And, I spoke on that on one of my previous episodes. I didn't really have much to say about it. And, I mean, now that we're here, and Endeavor ultimately is the company that stepped forward to purchase the WWE, I feel like I could be a little transparent now. And, bro, I'm not going to hold you, man. That would have been a bad business deal. I mean, not a bad business deal, right? Because I'm sure they would have had a couple of brown wallets, right? Right, that's good, bro. These instrumentals be lining up with my podcast so crazy, bro. Like I didn't plan that just now. I'm literally talking about money, and then Q-Tip just hit me with the brown wallet ad lib, man. Shout out to hip hop, man, for always being on time. And shout out to Ja Rule and Ashanti for that song. Where was I? I was talking about the right. The initial deal that didn't go through, right? I just felt like, from a business perspective, yeah, it might have been a good deal because obviously we know that Saudi Arabia, enough said, they coming with that oil money and all of that, right? So they gonna get the money, the financials, the fiscal is gonna be there, right? On a fiscal level, it would have made sense for Vince McMahon to strike that deal, right? Me and the childhood me and this me knowing, you know, uh, basically how the WWE has been operating and how it's been run for so many years. I just feel like personally, from a creative, so let me just spit it out here, dog. Creatively, it would have been a disaster, dog. Bro, we would have been seeing, it would have, bro, Davari would have been the world champion. The great Khali would have came back. He would have had every belt or something crazy. Like, Muhammad Hassan, Intercontinental and Tag Champion. They would have, Tatanka probably would have came back then. They would have brought Tatanka back, dog. Tatanka, the Great Khali, Muhammad Hassan, and Davari all would have been champions, dog. If Saudi Arabia would have made that deal, I'm talking about from a creative standpoint, which probably wouldn't have been a bad thing for somebody. However, just me knowing, like I said, once again, the product, right? And at the end of the day, low key, I'm low key salty that I didn't get on the deal. If you didn't really catch my drift for real, like I don't usually pocket watch, my nigga. Like I don't really do the pocket watching thing. I don't watch people's pockets. I don't really do that. I don't even really like to watch certain stories when I see certain, like they show you the preview of the story. If I feel like it might be something where I'm pocket watching, or if I'm just like looking too hard at something, I don't even watch stories, dog, half of the time. I appreciate y'all for watching mine, though, and I will keep them coming. Episode 25 on the way. Episode 24 out now. The dog, like, I really was trying to I was trying to figure out a deal over here. Like, I knew that I ain't have enough money, obviously, to make a deal. But dog, like as far as creatively, Vince McMahon probably might need to holler at me, dog. Like I tuned into that WrestleMania, and I'm not gonna lie, I like what I see for the most part. Like I said, I'm a big UFC fan, and we'll definitely be getting into some UFC talk right after this. I actually put it right as my next topic. Yeah, I see what I did here, so I can just tie the two things in together because realistically, the two things are one now. The UFC and you can't say the WWE without the UFC, and vice versa. You just can't say one without the other anymore. And my question is, let me speed this thing up. Let me expedite this up though, because realistically, I really came and spun the block on y'all because I didn't want to have to be editing. It's UFC weekend, dog. UFC 287 is definitely this Saturday. It's lit. Miami, you know. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into that. Let me save that. Hold on, I'm jumping the gun. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack here with this WWE deal because as I'm looking down here, I definitely also want to point out the fact that the whole thing, and the whole controversy here surrounding Vince McMahon and the WWE was that not too long ago a story broke, or several stories broke in regards to sexual misconduct, right? And this the thing, right? This the thing. This is the thing. I don't know, and I don't care. And I'm not saying that anybody, is flawless or nobody. I'm certainly not speaking up in defense of Vince McMahon as it pertains to his sexual, what I'm saying, his character when it comes to that in the bedroom, dog. I don't know what he's on. And realistically, fam, a dude that's 70 with muscles, said, I've been following the sport, dog. Vince McMahon has done, there's been a lot of dirt and blood on that man's hands over the years, we ain't gonna really get into the skeletons in the closet and all that, but obviously when it comes to the WWE, they have not been short of controversy over the years, right? You're talking about deaths, and all types of lawsuits and everything but the kitchen sink, as they would like to say, right? They got the kitchen sink too at this point, dog. They also got that motherfucking bag, and Vince McMahon got that bag, and I will say that I am, I do feel like it's a good thing though that they're gonna keep Vince McMahon in the company still. Now this is the creative now. We're getting back to the creative now. As far as the business side of things and whatever misconduct took place between Vince McMahon and alleged victims, he'll have to go and deal and answer to God for that at the end of the day. That's not really I'm not the judge, jury, or executioner. And if there was some misconduct and if there was a female who was harmed, I do wish that prayers and condolences, right? But realistically, like, that man ain't in jail. He's like in prison right now, fam. So like it's like, dog, if a man is not locked up, I'm just looking at it like, dog, this ain't really nothing too crazy, is it? Let's get back to the creative side of things, man. The fact that they're gonna keep Vince McMahon on board as an executive in the company, I just feel like they can't really lose at this point. They're merging with the UFC. Do you understand? Do you understand how fucking monumental this is? The UFC, they've been doing numbers consistently. I'm talking about consistently. I mean, we got UFC 287 this weekend. We just had UFC 286, dog. Like John Jones. I mean, there's just endless amounts of revenue to be made here. Then you combine a conglomerate such as the WWE on their own, number one rated cable television show, episodic, series. I'm not sure how many years it's been at this point, like 50. Like realistically, fam, Vince McMahon was breaking cable records when cable TV was actually lit. When cable TV actually had shows on, fam. Like they used to cut shows off to get to Raw. I remember this vividly. And there was times where they would do the opposite and like keep shows on later, and then Raw would come on later, and I used to be mad and shit. Dog, at this point, dog, this shit might come on at 12 midnight or some shit, like when the UFC fights. And that's the other thing that I'm looking forward to. I'm really looking at it from that standpoint too, because like I said, I'm super big, on the UFC, and I do notice, like I said, I just they just had WrestleMania, this past weekend, and I tuned in, and I did notice that they were doing certain things very, very, very adjacent to what the UFC does. They had DC, you know what I'm saying? Daniel Cormier was there from ESPN, big UFC, anybody that, is in tune with the UFC, that Daniel Cormier is a UFC former fighter, right? So that was kind of like one of the like kind of dead giveaways right there. Like, damn, why is he here? They had a post press conference. They got press conferences. They damn they got the weigh in, the face offs. They getting ready to really take this thing prime time. And honestly, I'm here to see it all. I'm here to see it all. We around and start seeing like Conor McGregor on Monday Night Raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, like that, I feel like that would probably be the best approach to me. For promotional purposes only. I mean, every now and then, if a dude want to come in there and throw a punch or something, or get clothesline, that'd be cool for the ratings or whatever the case may be. But I just feel like when you got certain fights coming up, I said I tuned into the joint, this past weekend, man. I didn't see the whole event or whatever. It's now a 2-day event, which I think is definitely genius because realistically, yeah, why not stretch this out? We gonna stretch this damn dollar out, man. We gonna get a bang for our buck. We gonna get y'all a bang for y'all buck, but we gonna get more bucks because realistically, WrestleMania, it was a point in time where it used to just be like, all right, you just see these. The only time you see people is when they walking down that ramp, they get in the ring, they walk back up the ramp, back to the locker room, and that's that, bro. Now they got it so like they like I said, they really are turning it into a real sport. So these guys is coming in doing press conferences now. It's a whole week, it's a whole event, it's a whole fucking movie, fam. And I want in. Vince McMahon, I will be tagging you in these stories, dog. I want in. I'm gonna get in, as a matter of fact. It's not even a matter of this is not even a question, dog. I'm in. I'm in. And I'm gonna be in, and that's just what it is, dog. Like I gotta get a piece of that right there. I need a piece of that pie, dog. I didn't spend too much hours invested into this product, dog. This bag is a piece of mine, dog. I get a piece of this bag, respectfully. You know how much hours of like I got a whole book of wrestling stories, dog. Like the amount of shit I went through just because of some damn a drop kick and shit. We really was like wilding though, like in the hallways and shit, like really hurting people. Certain days, like when it was like bad days and shit, like we would really like try to hurt people too. Certain people anyway. But they don't really with you like that. Yeah, let's pick him up, 3D him right here, right on the marble floor and shit. Like if we with you, we would take you to the grass and shit, and then do it. If we ain't with you, you getting 3D'd on marble, fam. Break your whole chin, dog. We don't care. Run right up them stairs. But now, shout out to Vince McMahon. Shout out to the UFC, man. This is definitely that shit is monumental for real, man. Dana White, you motherfucker, bro. Like, is he not living the best life right now, fam? Like, UFC events, dog. We gonna move on from that, man. We would definitely be keeping our eye on Endeavor and Vince McMahon, But realistically, dog, it's time for some action, And we gonna get some action this Saturday, UFC 287, Miami. The Melee in Miami. I'm not even sure if that's what they're calling it, but that's what I'm calling it. And realistically, fam, that's kind of catchy right there. They probably should use that as the slogan and all that. I'm gonna come clean though. They put the whole song in here, fam. Like, what are we doing? I touched the whole mainframe. That's my shit though, but come on, dog. I'm trying to buy it right now. They about to shadow ban me or something, bro. That's why I can't do the visual shit yet, because realistically, dog, I don't even got my setup right. Like, I'm not about to be out of it. I'm cool, but my visual, I need the aesthetic right, dog. If I don't have the Joe Budden setup, I'm not giving y'all no visuals, dog. And that's really what it comes down to. Joe Budden, you making it hard for niggas, dog. Like, I can't even do a visual podcast, my nigga. I don't know where to start, bro. UFC 287 is this weekend. Yeah, the Melee in Miami. Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns. It's really not much to talk about here. You know, Jorge Masvidal. Shout out to Jorge Masvidal. You know, I've been, you know, he definitely been doing, you know, a few interviews, and you know, he had the ride around joint where he was riding around Miami. You know, basically like the hometown hero. I like the way they're building up the fight. You know, I just feel like personally, I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm not really impressed. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, saying he know how to talk though, and that was really what I was getting ready to say. You know, coming into this weekend, I had zero excitement about the Jorge Masvidal versus Gilbert Burns fight, dog. In my opinion, I was just looking at it like it's just something to do. They're in Miami. We're gonna throw a hometown guy there, and that's basically just what it is. Because realistically, Jorge Masvidal's last 2 or 3 fights weren't really that impressive. You know, his last impressive fight was the Nate Diaz fight, and I mean honestly, bro, like the BMF title, dog. Like we not jacking that money. This is mixed martial arts, man. The BMF title sound more like a WWE. See, that might be a WWE belt right there. That sounds like a real dope championship for like Stone Cold Steve Austin or something, dog. Like realistically, fam, this is mixed martial arts. This is MMA. Light heavyweight, middleweight, heavyweight, flyweight, bantamweight. We don't do BMF, dog. We don't do BMF. This is not 50 Cent and one of those shows, dog. This ain't Big Meech in them, fam. What is the BMF title anyway? What did that even stand for? Now that I think about it, dog. He was the Big Meech champion. That's crazy, right? So like, I say all that to say this, dog. I haven't been impressed with, you know, I just feel like he hasn't really been taking the craft as serious as he should. And realistically, I'm not even sure why I'm taking this as serious as I am right now, because I don't even really care as much as I sound like I care right now. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't. This is not something that I'm sitting and waking up thinking about every day, right? But realistically, you know, I'm a fan of the sport, like I said, you know, and I just feel like this fight right here, this I say all that to say this. He's gonna have to get a win this Saturday right here, not just a win, not just a win, not just a win. This might have to be Jorge Masvidal's best win, his greatest knockout. We gonna need you to pull that Miami, that backyard brawler, street fighter mentality. We need all of that this Saturday, dog. Because Gilbert Burns is not necessarily somebody that you could just walk through. And, you know, I feel like I've been watching, like I said, I've been watching the vignettes. I've been watching, you know, the promo, the interviews, the build up. And I'm not going to hold you, man. Masvidal, he's sitting back. He's smoking cigars, riding through Miami. He moving like he just, the fight is over and shit, basically. Like, and the way he's kind of like overlooking, I almost want to say respectfully, I feel like when a fighter has a lot on their plate, you know, historically they have a tendency to kind of overlook their opponent. And I feel like right now he just had an event, you know, where he's promoting. It was a whole boxing event and shit. Like your man over there does a whole boxing promoter. Like you a whole boxing promoter, and you had a whole boxing event that you are promoting the week prior to your fight weekend. I've never even heard of anything like that, dog. Like not even Don King would have thought of no shit like that, fam. Like he wasn't that hungry for the money, fam. Like you can't be a promoter and a fighter in the matter of 2 weeks, dog. And realistically, like I said, if Gilbert Burns comes in there and is half of who he was in his last fight, Masvidal is in trouble. He's in for a long night, and realistically, his career could end on Saturday, fam. If he come in there on some, I'm the king of Miami, this is my city. If he's not in there with a game plan or some type of strategy, I will be coming back on episode 26. Like Jorge Masvidal's career has ended tonight. His career will end. And honestly, bro, I don't want to see that. And that brings me to my next point, which is, the fact that Dana White, man, I don't know, man. I feel like he does good business. I feel like he's a good, businessman. Nothing more, nothing less. Great businessman, right? Does great business. He's good for the UFC, all that shit, right? But I just feel like sometimes he can get in his own way, and what better opportunity and what better moment do you have to make the fight that basically, I'm not gonna sit here and act like this has been a fight that the whole entire that we've been demanding type thing. But realistically, you have a fight where the two fighters actually have some type of history, right? Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal literally had a fight. No, they fought already. They had a physical fight, not in the octagon, outside of the octagon, while Jorge Masvidal was conducting an interview, fam. They got real bad blood between each other, right? So my point is this: he went up and two-pieced them, boop boop, leaked them, all type of shit, right? So that's a fight that kind of, they want to make happen. Those two fighters want to fight. So Colby Covington and Leon Edwards is the fight that Dana White made. A lot of people, including myself, kind of confused, right? Like, first of all, where did Colby Covington even come from, bro? When was his last fight? When was his last, great win? It just seems like, and it just feels like, and it just looks like, because he has a relationship with Dana White, which he does, and there's a whole connection there with Trump. And as I'm speaking, as I say Trump, what time is it? Is he? Did they indict this or not, bro? They talking about get ready, get set, on your mark. Trump is coming to New York. Dog, dog, dog. You think I'm worried about Donald Trump in New York, fam? Well, I wasn't aware of the fact that he wasn't here already. Realistically, I'm like, dog, wasn't he already here? Like, I didn't know where he was at, fam. I don't care, bro. I got podcasts I'm doing, I'm editing, I'm producing. I got shit to do, fam. Stop showing me this white man with his plane on TV. That's the problem, fam. We can't focus on one thing. I'm off on the tangent again. I am. Pardon self. Let me stay focused on the UFC. So we ain't gonna get that Leon Edwards and Masvidal fight. We're not gonna get that anytime soon, right? We might not get that this year. Now, depending on what Masvidal look like on Saturday, which I'm hoping that he comes out and he breaks his record, fam. If he could come in there and deliver that Ben Askren win somehow, that vicious knee in 3 seconds of the fight, that shit was crazy. That was his big hoorah. And realistically, he's charismatic enough to kind of talk his way into his spot, man. And that's just really what it is. And coupled with that knockout, I feel like that knockout catapulted his career. It catapulted his career, and he was kind of going off of that. He was running off of that knockout smoke, that knockout energy for a long time, bro. That Ben Askren knockout. I'm not gonna say like he can't fight. I'll take my chances with him with the hands, though. I ain't gonna. I'm not really. I don't really feel like he's that good, bro. He's just an average fighter to me. It's an average fighter, dog. He got some good leg kicks, though. Let me not do that. He do got some good leg kicks, and you know what, man? Let me just hold all of my commentary, right? The fight ain't happening yet, dog. This shit 3 days away, right? So we gonna definitely come back with the review. We also got Izzy, Israel Adesanya, on that same card, the main event against I'm not even sure what son name is, Pereira. I don't know his first name. I know his last name is Pereira. And I know that he beat Izzy the last time they fought. And I know that he looked like he was bigger and stronger than him the last time they fought. And I also know that Izzy is another fighter who I kind of put him in that same category almost as Jorge Masvidal, right? Where it's kind of just like I almost want to say I don't know, man. I don't feel like he takes the. I'm not gonna say he doesn't take the craft seriously though. I can't say that. I can't say that, right? I'm not losing 30 pounds and throwing up and shit. These motherfuckers is putting their bodies and sacrificing a lot to do what they do, right? So I sound crazy even questioning anything that they do realistically, right? What all that though? Because I'm a purist. I ain't no novice, dog. I'm true to this. I ain't new to this, dog. And I can say when I feel like I see a fighter ain't really on their square, dog. I don't feel like Izzy been on his square, dog. Like Izzy ain't really been on his square like that. Like what was his last moment? What was his last moment? Forget about a win. A win. What was the last moment where we said, "Yo, this is amazing. This is one of the greatest ever." I'm just saying, man. Like, come on, man. Like, it's too many fighters out here. Realistically, fam, there are too many fighters, and they're gonna just keep coming with that are willing to go above and beyond and some to really get what I'm saying their hands on that championship, or just get in that conversation, that top five, that top three, that what I'm saying. And I just don't feel like Izzy has been putting on his best performances. I just feel like he's not living up to his potential for it, And at the end of the day, I do feel like he's talented. He's super talented. But I just be feeling like I don't know, man. With Izzy, it's like, are you more concerned about your entrance at this point, dog? Like, I feel like you putting more time into the entrance more than the actual like strategy for the win. Like, how are you gonna get this win, right? Let me lower my tone. I feel like I'm yelling a little bit too much. Hold on. I don't know if I can hear this. Can y'all hear me now? Is it clearly now? So that's the UFC 287. That's coming up this weekend. I won't be editing this weekend. I will not be editing. I will not be editing. This is definitely not the year to be gambling with your money. And I'm not gonna hold you, man. Segway King, I low-key really didn't even plan this, but I definitely had the China trade deal. That's my next topic. Now, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. I'm not really like a political, platform, right? Realistically, I'm not really I'm not a one-trick pony. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I could dibble and dabble into the politics. I could get into that bag. What we talking about here? China trade deal, Brazil. They struck a deal with Brazil. So now they starting to trade and use the yen as opposed to the US dollar, which is our money, right? I better get that microphone fast because I'm not going I'm not gonna hold you, man. I don't know. I don't understand the full, you know, uh, significance of what exactly is taking place currently, but I am, aware of what potentially can happen. And I mean, listen, man. Obviously, these things we've been getting warned for years. Oh, the U.S. dollar is gonna drop the economy. I just feel like every other election, every year or every election year, they always put something out there like that we about to collapse. And realistically, though, they've been preparing us for this one for quite some time, and I don't think this is the time to really be like I said, be gambling with your money. You know, I was getting ready to say something else, but I'm gonna hold that. Like y'all getting y'all bodies done and the shit. Like I just feel like I don't know, man. Priorities, dog. Like y'all gonna realistically maybe y'all on to something though with the inflated bodies and shit. Like, because if this shit go underwater, like they've been threatening. Like, listen, they've been warning us about that too. I'm just saying, like that might be next, right? At this point. So man, listen, dog. And then like realistically, man, you know what I really been thinking too? obviously, besides the fact that they've been basically saying this shit every day, every chance that they get on right, on the news and shit, like, hey, prepare for the inflation, and we might be going into another Great Depression. And when you just look at business currently, right? And if you just look at, just certain business deals that we see taking place in certain transactions, not even referring to the China trade deal, right, with Brazil, Saudi Arabia, Russia. Are we currently in an economic warfare? Are we currently in an economic warfare? Now, we done seen some damn balloons get shot out of the sky, right? I'm still on them damn balloons, by the way, bro, which is crazy. They just sent some balloons over here, fam. Fast forward, it's just like, I feel like every day, like I said, I might have to do a podcast every day now, fam. If we go to war, I'm definitely not. If we go to war, though, realistically, that's fade to black on this right here. I'm not. I'm getting rid of every technology I have, fam. I don't want none of these devices near me during wartime. They sending balloons over here. Look, they banning TikTok, and that's the real reason why the TikTok thing is even happening. It's crazy how everything is kind of like tying in, though, right? If you look at business, if you look at certain, companies, a lot of people cashing out. I'm just saying, man, it's almost like, yeah, a lot of people are getting prepared for, another Great Depression, apparently, right? We are getting ready to hit rock bottom as an economy, fam. And if more people, if this trade deal situation becomes a trend, obviously what happens with trends is more and more people pick up on the trend, and eventually we'll be in a situation where, but realistically, like I said, I don't see that as like really a real legit thing yet until I actually do some research. Number one, number two, I just feel like they always have to put something out there to just instill fear into the American people, fam. It's just a thing that they do. Like, I don't really take anything that I see anymore seriously, bro. This might be serious though. I don't know, man. We might fuck around and really just go to war at this point, which would be crazy, But sign of the times, man, the best teacher of the future is the past, I used to love her. I used to love her. She used to love me too. That was my boo. Look, cause now I'm about to really cook. I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was raining outside. We was on the AIM chat all day. Hit you like, yo, what's up? You hit me back like, what's up, too? That whole shit up, bro. I did. I had something though. You can see how I craft my, you know what I'm saying? How I started off and all that. I think I'm off this. I think I'm off this. I think I came in back to back y'all niggas, man. I back to back y'all, man. Episode 24, I'm still cooking. I ain't even get y'all every snippet yet, bro. World peace, man. World peace for real. You know, world peace. Prayers to humanity. Prayers to you and me. Episode 25. I think that's a wrap. I think it's a vibe. I think you like. I think you might hit subscribe. I think I might see y'all next time. I don't know. But at this point, I gotta go. Because realistically, everybody can't go, and that includes you and me. E.B.C.G. WILLMATIC 4423 309 p.m. I conclude this episode. I'm a website coming soon. Website coming soon. The E.B.C.G podcast website is under construction. I'm working on it. Realistically, I'm saying coming soon, but soon might really be like next year because I'm really trying to really put this thing together the right way. I don't want to put out no fugazi or no fugaga as Maynard would say. I ain't even really, yeah, low key. Like, see, like this the thing, right? See, I'm getting ready to end the episode, and now I'm low key about to start podding again, right? Which is crazy. Like, it's like I don't want to stop podding, fam. I don't want to stop giving y'all the pod, dog. You see how I can't even end it without Larsa Pippen. I ain't even talk about Larsa, dog. What's up with Larsa Pippen, fam, on the outro? It's like she just don't stop. She don't stop. She don't stop. Larsa Pippen, you gotta stop. Just stop. Just stop talking. Like John Morant had to delete his IG. Why? Because he put out a gun and realistically, fam, like, can we revisit that real quick, fam? It's not even really a big deal like that, dog. They put a, you need a gun. You need a gun. You need a gun, fam. The China trade, they going away from they using yens to trade oil and shit, fam. You need a gun in these times, dog. There's no telling what's gonna happen, fam. They shooting up schools, they shooting up private schools, they doing it's a lot going on out here, fam. Like if we want to really revisit that Josh shit, it wasn't really that crazy in retrospect. And all I'm saying is this: he deleted his whole IG. My question is this: can Larsa Pippen delete her IG now too? I just feel like every 2 days, fam, it's just an outlandish statement. And then what's this? What is this I'm hearing? Is she really like dating? So Larsa Pippen, let me get this straight, is currently dating Michael Jordan's son. Is that a real thing? Is that real? You ungrateful motherfucker. That is crazy to me, fam. Like that's literally like, but this is what we do to each other, though, man. This is what we do to each other. And at the end of the day, we about to end this episode. I don't want to go off on another tangent on y'all. But look at what we do to our people. Look at what we do to each other. Look at this. Let's just look at humanity for a second, right? Larsa Pippen knew for a fact that the one thing that she shouldn't do, she went and tried to do something that she felt like would completely destroy that man, right? And there's too much of that going on, man. There's too much monkey see monkey. There's too much crabs in a barrel, dog. And by crabs in the barrel, I ain't even really talking about black and white here. I'm talking about just humanity, dog. Like, realistically, fam, we trying to trade and trying to devalue currencies and all this war and shit. It's just like, dog, if we would just all come together as humanity, smoke some weed, like, realistically, the weed is really what I feel like that personally will bring us all. Like, we could have a utopia with the right strain. Just leave it to me. Let me supply it. I will supply the strain for everybody. For the utopia. For a one world. They talking about one world government. Let's have a one world utopia. Can we do that? Can we try to do it?